If you're someone who loves action-packed adventures, or even if you're new to the world of video games, you're going to love exploring some of the incredible shooter games that came out after 2000. These games have not only brought us thrilling combat and exciting gameplay, but also captivating stories and stunning worlds to get lost in. Whether you're into intense firefights, strategic play, or simply exploring immersive environments, these shooters have something for everyone. Let's jump in and take a look at 3 awesome games that have made a big impact and are still loved by gamers everywhere. Number 3. Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is a first-person shooter where players control Gordon Freeman, navigating through various environments and engaging in combat with a variety of enemies. The shooting mechanics are precise and responsive, with a wide range of weapons at your disposal, from pistols to shotguns and futuristic energy weapons. One of the standout features of Half-Life 2 is the gravity gun, which allows players to manipulate objects in the game world. You can pick up, move, and throw objects, using them as makeshift weapons or solving environmental puzzles. This mechanic adds a creative layer to both combat and puzzle solving. The game incorporates physics-based puzzles that require players to use the gravity gun and other tools to interact with the environment. For example, you might need to move objects to clear a path, or use them to trigger switches and solve complex puzzles. The combat in Half-Life 2 features a diverse range of enemies, from the combined soldiers and alien creatures to mechanical turrets and zombie-like headcrabs. Each type of enemy requires different tactics to defeat, keeping combat engaging and varied. Players can choose from a variety of weapons, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. The arsenal includes traditional firearms like rifles and shotguns, as well as unique weapons like the crossbow and the aforementioned gravity gun. While the game follows a linear narrative, it features open levels that encourage exploration. You can uncover hidden areas, find useful items, and engage in side activities. This exploration adds depth and replayability to the game. The game integrates its story seamlessly into the gameplay. Dialogue with characters and environmental storytelling provide context and background, enhancing the immersion and helping players connect with the narrative. The AI in Half-Life 2 is advanced for its time. Enemies use tactics, take cover, and coordinate with each other, making combat more challenging and realistic. The game includes sections where players control vehicles, such as the airboat and buggy. These segments offer a change of pace from the typical on-foot combat and exploration, adding variety to the gameplay. Powered by the Source engine, Half-Life 2 features realistic graphics and physics. The game's environments react to player actions, and the physics engine allows for believable interactions with objects and characters. The game's story is extended through expansions and episodic content, such as Episode 1 and Episode 2. These additions continue the narrative and introduce new gameplay elements, providing more content and further developing the game's mechanics. Overall, Half-Life 2 delivers a rich and varied gameplay experience that combines innovative mechanics, engaging combat, and immersive storytelling. Its blend of traditional shooter elements with unique features like the gravity gun makes it a standout title in the genre. Number 2. Call of Duty. Call of Duty takes you straight into the heart of World War II. The game is designed to make you feel like you're right there in the middle of the action. Instead of being a lone hero, you're part of a larger squad, which adds a real sense of camaraderie and teamwork. You'll find yourself in intense battles across different locations, from the chaos of Normandy to the streets of Stalingrad, and each mission feels like a key moment in the war. One of the coolest things about Call of Duty is that you don't just play as one character. The game lets you experience the war from different perspectives, switching between American, British, and Soviet soldiers. This keeps the gameplay fresh and offers different angles on the war, showing how it affected people across various fronts. Each campaign has its own unique missions, weapons, and objectives, so there's always something new to experience. The combat in Call of Duty is intense and feels authentic. The developers put a lot of effort into making the weapons and battles as realistic as possible. You'll use a variety of period-accurate weapons, like the M1 Garand and the Thompson submachine gun, each with its own feel and power. The game encourages you to use cover and think tactically rather than just running and gunning. You'll need to work with your squad to succeed, making it a team effort rather than a solo mission. The missions in Call of Duty are designed to be cinematic and memorable. Whether you're storming a beach, defending a town from an enemy counterattack, or sniping enemies from a distance, each mission is packed with action. The game also does a great job of building tension and atmosphere, with intense firefights, explosions, and moments where you'll be on the edge of your seat. It's like being in a war movie where you're the star. Even if you're not a hardcore gamer, Call of Duty is pretty easy to pick up and play. The controls are intuitive, and the game does a good job of guiding you through each mission. Plus, the difficulty levels allow you to adjust the challenge to your comfort level, whether you're looking for a more casual experience or a tougher, more realistic challenge. Playing Call of Duty 2003 gives you a sense of where many modern shooters got their ideas. The game introduced mechanics like aiming down sights and regenerating health, which have become standard in the genre. It's a piece of gaming history that shows how the first-person shooter evolved into what we see today. In short, Call of Duty 2003 offers a gripping, authentic, and cinematic experience that's definitely worth checking out, whether you're a history buff, a shooter fan, or just someone who enjoys a well-crafted game. It's a classic for a reason, and even today, it still delivers an exciting and immersive gameplay experience. Number 1. Far Cry. One of the coolest things about Far Cry is the freedom it gives you. Unlike many shooters of its time, Far Cry doesn't just push you down a linear path. Instead, it drops you into a massive, beautiful tropical island and lets you decide how to tackle each mission. You can take the stealthy approach, picking off enemies one by one without being noticed, or go in guns blazing. The game's open-world design means you can explore, plan, and choose your strategy, which makes each playthrough feel unique. For a game released in 2004, Far Cry has amazing graphics that still hold up today. The island's setting is gorgeous, with lush jungles, clear blue waters, and stunning vistas. It's easy to get lost in the environment, just soaking in the scenery as you make your way through the game. But don't let the beauty fool you. This paradise is full of danger, from enemy mercenaries to hidden traps. Combat in Far Cry is all about using your brain as much as your trigger finger. The enemies are smart. They'll flank you, call for reinforcements, and even retreat if things aren't going their way. You'll need to think on your feet, using the environment to your advantage. Maybe you'll snipe enemies from a distance, set up an ambush, or use the cover of the jungle to sneak around them. The game rewards players who think tactically and use the tools at their disposal. The game gives you a good selection of weapons, from pistols and rifles to more powerful options like rocket launchers and sniper rifles. You can also hop into vehicles like jeeps and boats, which add another layer of fun. Whether you're speeding through the jungle in a buggy or taking to the water in a boat, the vehicles help keep the action fresh and exciting. You play as Jack Carver, a former Special Forces operative who's been stranded on this mysterious island. As you try to survive and find out what's going on, you uncover a story filled with twists, mysterious experiments, and a dangerous enemy lurking behind the scenes. While the story isn't the main draw, it's interesting enough to keep you hooked as you explore the island and face new challenges. One of the standout features of Far Cry is the enemy AI. The enemies aren't just mindless targets. They're smart and will react to your actions. They'll call for backup, lay down suppressive fire, and try to outflank you. This makes each encounter intense and forces you to stay on your toes, thinking about how to outsmart your opponents. Because of its open-ended design, Far Cry has great replay value. You can come back to the game and try different approaches to missions, use different weapons, or explore areas you might have missed the first time. The freedom the game gives you means that no two playthroughs are exactly the same. In summary, Far Cry 2004 is a fantastic shooter that combines open-world exploration with tactical combat and stunning environments. It's a game that lets you play your way, whether you prefer stealth, strategy, or all-out action. If you enjoy shooters that offer freedom and challenge, Far Cry is definitely worth checking out. In the end, these three shooter games released after 2000 offer unforgettable experiences that go beyond just pulling the trigger. They've shaped the way we think about video games, combining exciting gameplay with rich storytelling and innovation. Whether you're reliving the classics or discovering them for the first time, these games are must-plays for any fan of the genre. So, grab your controller and dive into these iconic adventures. You won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more videos. And tell me in the comments which one you played and which one you will play.